So, what if a place could hold a secret? I mean, not just in its walls, but in its very soul. Today, we're diving into a story where a condemned amusement park basically refuses to let go of a 46-year-old mystery. It's a chilling ghost story for sure, but it's also a cold case that's about to be blown wide open.
You know, this idea comes from the very man hired to destroy the park, which is a pretty chilling piece of foreshadowing if you ask me. He truly believes some places remember. And Ocean View Amusement Park has a memory it refuses to let die, a memory that's about to stop a demolition crew dead in their tracks. All right, so our story kicks off with what should be the rocket's last ride. We're in the present day, standing among the skeletal remains of Ocean View Amusement Park. A film crew is wiring its legendary roller coaster for one final explosive scene in some big blockbuster movie. Just try to imagine the difference here. Back in 1978, this place was roaring with life. You had the screams from the rocket, the music, the laughter everywhere. But today, all that's left is a skeleton, and the only thing you hear is the sound of the ocean. It's a place that's really just defined by what's been lost. And you can imagine, the pressure is on. The location manager, Jerome Ashby, has set a hard deadline. That roller coaster comes down Saturday at dawn. No excuses. To make it happen, he's hired Victor Salazar, a pyrotechnics chief with 26 years of experience. I mean, if anyone can get this done, it's him. But something seems to be fighting back. First, a piece of wiring that Victor installed himself gets somehow swapped out. Then, a firing circuit that tested perfectly just dies. Victor, who is a master of his craft, is completely baffled. There's just no logical explanation. It's almost as if the park itself is sabotaging the demolition. So yeah, this is way beyond just a technical problem. It's like there's a ghost in the machine. And that's where our story really takes a turn. From these bizarre glitches to a genuine mystery. And its roots are in the park's old, forgotten arcade. Which forces the question, right? Is this just a string of really bad luck and some faulty wiring? Or is some unseen force actively trying to save this place from being destroyed? And this is where Mary Daly comes in. She's a production assistant, and she actually has her own history with Ocean View. Her grandmother used to bring her here all the time. And during what's supposed to be a routine site survey, she is about to find something that will blow this entire mystery wide open. Right next to an antique photo booth that hasn't had power for decades, Mary finds it, a photo strip from 1978. It's of this teenage boy, just helpless with laughter. But here's the really weird part. The final frame is blank, just pure white. It's an impossible artifact. It shouldn't exist. And this is the moment where everything just flips upside down. On a total whim, Mary slides a porter into this dead machine, and it works. When her own photo strip prints out, she's not alone. The boy from 1978 is sitting right there beside her. She's literally just taken a picture with a ghost. So this impossible photo sends Mary on a mission, searching for answers. And it leads her to Ruth Delaney, a former park manager. As soon as Ruth sees the photo, she recognizes the boy. And she holds the key to a 46-year-old cold case. So who was this boy? His name was Danny Kowalski. He was a bright, responsible 17-year-old who just absolutely loved his summer job operating the rocket. Then, only 1 week before the park closed for the season back in 1978, he vanished. The official story was that he ran away. But the truth? Well, the truth was much, much darker. And Ruth, she knows the real story. In late August, Danny stumbled on a box of secret financial records. He tried to tell Ruth, but she was swamped and just waved him off, told him to wait till Monday. But Danny didn't wait. That Friday night, he told his girlfriend he was going straight to the park's owner, Carl Ingram, to confront him. After that conversation, he was never seen again. So what did Danny find? Well, he found the motive. He found a second set of books, proof that the owner, Carl Ingram, was cooking the numbers, faking attendance records to massively inflate the park's value right before he put it up for sale. And we're not talking about small change here. The fraud was worth over $350,000. In 1978 money, that's an absolute fortune. And it's a pretty powerful motive to permanently silence a 17-year-old kid who is about to expose everything. Okay, so with the demolition now just hours away, Mary finally understands what the ghost of Danny Kowalski wants. He doesn't want revenge. He wants the truth to be found. So she and Victor race against the clock to find the evidence that he left behind all those years ago. They race down to the maintenance area under the rocket, the exact place Danny must have hidden the proof. And behind a junction panel, they find it, a dusty old metal box. Inside are the fraudulent ledgers, and something else, a manila envelope, sealed for 46 years. And inside is Danny's voice, reaching across time. It's a letter he wrote right before he confronted Ingram. He knew the risk. He knew he might not come back from that meeting, so he left a trail, a final piece of evidence, dated and signed. Discovering that letter changes everything. It's not just proof of a crime. It's the final testament of a brave young man, and finding it brings a reckoning, not just for the past, but for everyone in the present, too. Jerome makes the call. The demolition grinds to a halt. For Ruth, 46 years of crushing guilt finally begins to lift. Danny's girlfriend is finally told the truth about what happened. But most importantly, for Danny's spirit, the truth is finally out there. His story has been heard, and he can finally be at peace. And for Jerome, this gets really personal. It turns out his own grandfather was one of the men who bought the park from Ingram, a deal that was built entirely on a lie. So he faces this choice: protect his family's legacy or expose the truth. And he chooses to do the right thing. And this brings us right back to Danny himself. In one final message to Mary, he clarifies what really happened that night. He says he wasn't fearless. He was terrified, but he acted anyway. And his own words give us one of the most powerful definitions of courage you'll ever hear. In the end, Danny's truth saved the park from demolition. His story is just this powerful reminder that places hold our memories. They bear witness to our lives, and it leaves us with this one kind of haunting question. If the places we loved could talk, what stories would they tell about us long after we're gone?